Welcome to Trenton today on WBCB. Great to be with you. Our show is brought to you by Capital Health and Haldeman Ford. And once a month, we're joined by the mayor of the capital city of the Garden State, Reed Gusciora.
Great to be here, and thanks for coming to visit the mayor's office in our great city hall.
Always great to be with you. We're going to highlight some of the people who work through the mayor's office today, some great human interest stories. And we've got Erica going to be joining us in just a little bit. Hey, I want to congratulate you, though, on the state aid that you guys received.
Yeah.
I know that's an increase from the previous year, $50.5 million into the city of Trenton. I know that's something you advocate for and really try to make sure that Trenton has what they need through the city of New Jersey.
Absolutely, and when you think, when you take into account that our annual budget is about $280 million, $50 million of that is not coming from our property taxes, but coming from the state. So that always helps defray the cost of property taxes here, and it gets things done. My first year, we only got $6 million in direct state aid. So this year, getting 50.5 is pretty substantial.
It is great, and those big numbers kind of make my mind boggle. But we got to get to our guest right now because Erica Melton, the director of the shelter, is getting mauled here. Taz is having some fun with that microphone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. And
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Yes, this is Taz. He's actually one of our newer puppies that just came into the shelter as a stray.
He is adorable.
He is very adorable, but as you can see, puppies are always a handful. They require a lot of work and care, so we'll probably place them if he gets past his stray hold.
Well, we're talking about all things when it comes to the city of Trenton, but one of the initiatives that you guys are embarking on is Clear the Shelter.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what that is, how you're incentivizing people to come in and find an adoptable pet. A charmer like Taz?
Yes. So during our Clear the Shelters event, we have something scheduled for every Saturday, an adoption event scheduled for every Saturday, the first 4 Saturdays in the month of August. So what we're doing to promote that is we are going to have partners out there with us. You know, as per every event that we do, we usually bring something fun for the kids to do, you know, something fun for the adults to do. We always try to have a, variety of things, as well as other arms of the health department there to, represent us as well.
Well, sounds like a blast. So those are at different locations throughout
the
city?
Yes. We're going to have 2 locations inside of the city, then 2 locations outside of the city. So that way we're kind of reaching a broader audience of adopters.
And we also are reaching out to people that are within Trenton, outside of Trenton,
yes,
to see some of the great adoptable pets, the 4-legged friends that they could get matched up with.
Yes, our first event is actually going to be held at the Trenton Animal Shelter specifically. So we're going to kick off there, and then we'll be all over the place, trying to get our dogs out of the shelter.
And as long as you don't have headphones or a microphone, you'll be great household to be in.
Our puppies are very cute, but puppies, like I said, they are a lot.
Yeah, I would imagine you have a great variety of dogs. Again, it's like finding that right match.
Yes.
Maybe a senior dog for a senior adopter, or a puppy for a group with young kids that have a lot of energy.
So that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in. All of our dogs get full evaluations, and that includes a full temperament test, food test, people test, the whole kit and caboodle. So we make sure that every single adopter is properly placed. They get the proper dog that is placed for their family. We're very, very fussy about our placements because we don't want the dogs coming back. We want them to go out to their homes and that be forever for them.
This is great. Are you rethinking bringing Taz to the show today?
Yeah. No, because we brought him because he's a very handsome devil. We know he's a puppy, right? Yes.
He is a handsome devil.
And
how old is he?
He is approximately 4 to 6 months old.
Okay.
Yeah, he's past the puppy stage, but he's still a puppy.
And the great thing about adopting a puppy is that he's adopts right to the household, and you could train him right from the get-go.
Exactly.
And looks very lovable. Just don't have microphones.
They just need something to chew on. You need a toy, correct? That's my fault. I'm a bad auntie.
My sister has done some fostering, I think, through the Philadelphia shelter. Mm-hmm. Is that something also that you guys are looking for? Because I would imagine it's good to train the dog when they're younger.
So
or
what
have
we
somebody
have-
with them, right?
What we have is a 2-week foster to adopt program because we are trying not to have dogs languish in the system. And what happens is typically sometimes a foster will take a dog and their intent is to adopt it, but they won't actually complete that adoption, which leaves that dog in our system,
Right.
unfortunately. And that's part of the goal is to get them out of the system.
Yeah, clear the shelter.
Exactly.
We got to
So-
clear the
so,
shelter.
So we created an initiative that really is specifically tailored to people who just want to, get to know that dog a little bit before they adopt it, not necessarily for people who want to keep them in their homes and, not adopt them for years on end.
Right. Just keep moving them through.
Exactly.
And the city even purchased recently an overflow kennel. We were using a private kennel to store, to house some of our dogs when our shelter was full. Now we have an annex that we can house some dogs, but it really increases the importance that we have to adopt out our little furry friends.
It's not your turn to talk yet, sir. You didn't say excuse me.
And you notice this whole time he hasn't been barking, and he's just looking
He
for
just wants to
something
play. Yes, you just want to play.
Speak, Taz. Speak.
Yes. So we had 2 of them come in actually, and unfortunately, we believe that the vet is going to see them today. We believe they both have, a little bit of a joint distortion. So we don't believe their owners are going to come forward for them, unfortunately.
I mean, with medical things like that, or the spaying or neutering process, is that something where also you guys help to take care of those things?
So every dog that leaves our shelter is always spayed or neutered. They're up to date on all of their vaccinations. They are also 4DX tested, which means that they were tested for parvo, heartworm, and Lyme's, and they are also microchipped.
I mean, that's a great value.
Yes, and it saves the adopter a lot of money in the long run because since the city can get it at such a group rate, our rate is actually lower than what they would go to pay at their own vet.
All right, now we got to tug at the heartstrings a little bit because people go in there and meet Taz. We're hoping a connection can be made, and these types of relationships with pets are. I don't know, they just have a lot of benefits, like health benefits for the humans. And, I love the bumper sticker that's out there, like who saved who when it comes to these rescue animals, because when you begin that relationship, you get so many rewards. I'm sure you hear that from folks that have adopted pets and then want to give back, kind of pay it forward through the animal shelter.
We actually have people that reach out to us because they are looking for an emotional support animal, and that does not mean a service animal where they're picking up things for them and such. They're just looking for that companionship. And so when people come for that, of course, we are always, willing and able to be able to connect them with, another dog, a dog who would be able to, provide them that emotional support. And they've also studies have shown that people who have animals, they live longer.
And live happier.
Yes.
Yes. And they lower your blood pressure. But Taz right now would not lower your blood pressure.
No, not puppies don't typically lower your blood pressure. We have to wait till they're around a year old, Yes, puppies are a handful.
And we've talked about how the shelter is filled to capacity.
Yes.
And again, you talked about getting a new kennel, new facilities just to handle the volume of animals. And some of that was COVID related, where people adopted animals and then I guess their lives got busy again and they gave them back to shelters.
Unfortunately, we saw 2 different waves. We first initially saw the COVID returns when people went back to work and they said, I'm not there to take care of the dog anymore.
Right.
But then approximately 2 years in, we started to see a lot of behavioral issues, unfortunately, because a lot of the dogs were unsocialized and because a lot of people took on dogs when they really weren't prepared to deal with them. And if you can't have a trainer come out and assist you and you really don't know how to train a dog, then you could, set yourself up for a whole lot of headaches. So unfortunately, we had those 2 different waves. And I think we're still recovering from that, along with high city intake.
But that's another big reason why we're looking to clear the shelter and create this initiative. Again, events happening throughout the city on Saturdays where it's going to make it easy for you to engage, meet Taz and his buddies.
When is our next adoption day that we're
On the 2nd. So we have an event on the 2nd and on the 9th. And then we also have one on the 16th and the 23rd. So the first 4 Saturdays of August.
All throughout the month.
Yes.
And where are they going to be held at?
The first kickoff event is being held at the Trenton Animal Shelter. The second event is going to be held at Rosedale Mills over in Pennington. The third event is going to be at CP Firehouse Dogs in Lawrenceville. And then our fourth event we're going to have at Unity Park. So the event on the 23rd is going to be our very large event in the park.
Well, bringing up the whole firehouse thing, that going to tease an upcoming guest we have later on in the show, because Trenton, you guys are donating a fire truck to Monrovia?
Liberia, the capital of Liberia. And we also have food giveaways for people. A lot of the families it's tough meeting food costs for themselves. We try to help them out with giving out pet foods. So that will be at all 4 events as well?
Yes, we always have a little bit of giveaway food at all 4 events, and we also have a large food giveaway this Saturday.
That is great. I mean, we talk about like how our grocery bills have gone up. I'm guessing there's probably some inflation when it comes to dog food, pet foods.
I think everybody's feeling the crunch right now, unfortunately. So we try and provide assistance to the community so that way they can, retain their pets and, provide healthy, food for them.
Yeah, because we don't want people or families, it's heartbreaking to surrender a dog,
Yes.
but if it's because they can't afford the food bills for the pets, that's really unfortunate.
Yes.
So we try to help in that way as well. And it's costly to the city. If you surrender a pet, it's easier for us to help out on some of their food needs.
So another way to clear the shelter by providing some food, making sure everybody has the means that they can take care of.
Now,
their
Erica,
pets.
if people wanted to donate food or donate blankets or donate animal toys so that Taz would have one, how can they do that?
They can always call our shelter, and if they need to make, arrangements to have something mailed, they can do that. They can also drop off directly at the shelter. We do accept donations directly at our door during our work hours from 9 to 4.
And what is our shelter number?
Our shelter number is 609-989-3254.
3254.
How about some volunteers looking for human beings to help you out, or you have a
So currently we're trying to get a hold on all of our programs right now, and then we're going to bring the volunteers back in. We've had a lot of changes in the last 6 months to a year, and we want to make sure that everything is running nice and smoothly before we add another component into the mix.
Gotcha. But clear the shelter, that is the big initiative.
Yes.
And we thank you, Erica, for joining us here on Trenton Today. And Taz,
What are you doing, Taz?
he's been the star of the show.
He keeps removing my headset. He thinks he has more to say than I do, I
He's
think.
removing the headset, chomping at the microphone.
Note to shelter, bring toys.
Yes, exactly. Squeaky toy next time. It's our first podcast. We're new.
Well, we're going to step aside, and are we going to bring Hillary on next?
Renee, we're going to bring on.
All right, well, we'll do that when we come back and talk a little bit about Trenton Central High School. Typically, we do our Trenton Today show from the high, but now that we've hit summertime, summer in the city, we're here at the mayor's office, and we're thankful to be here, thankful to Erica. We got some great guests coming up. We're going to step aside and return for more of Trenton Today on WBCB.
And adopt a pet.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, and Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Opinions matter, and so does yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join us every Monday at 1 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 AM WBCB. Opinions Matter is now live streamed at WBCB1490.com. We want to hear from you, because your opinion does matter.
Are you a parrot head?
Wasted away again in Margarita.
Not that kind.
Oi dana, mother to papuga.
That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video stream live the fourth Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6.
Offices inside City Hall in Trenton, New Jersey, with Mayor Gusciora for Trenton Today on WBCB, brought to you by Capital Health and Haldeman Ford. And now we're joined by Renee Morgan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Like I was saying, we typically do our thing at Trenton Central High School in their digital audio lab, and it's a great way for us to interact with the students there. But at one time, you were a student at Trenton Central High School, right?
I was the first graduating class of the new building back in 2020. So.
Well, that new building is pretty nice.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Great facility for the young people that are at Trenton Central High School, the tornadoes that are going through there, and we get to chit-chat with them once a month on Trenton Today, kind of do a podcast thing. So tell me about your journey from Trenton Central High School to the mayor's office. Mayor Gusciora was telling me just before we got started that part of that was through Rider University.
Actually, through Trenton Central High School. I started in the mayor's office when I was in 10th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I took a chance by submitting my internship application. I think I met the chief of staff at the time and then the mayor as well, because the mayor was always active in the community and I've seen him like everywhere. And through a program that I was in that I actually started with a couple of friends of my peers back then called Trenton Student Voice Power Movement, we were able to just be around different places and different venues. And then I took a chance and applied as an intern here, and then the mayor accepted me in, and I just wanted to kind of volunteer and just learn about civic engagement in Trenton, and I felt like this was a great opportunity to do that. And ever since then, the mayor has stuck with me, and I've stuck with the mayor because of the chances that he's provided me and the vision that he has for Trenton.
She worked alongside our prior public information officer, and the last time that they moved on, Renai was a good fit to assume the responsibilities.
It sounds like a real self-starter, a go-getter, great person to have on your side. What is the public information role all about?
So it's a lot of making sure that the public is informed of what the city is doing or what other incentives is going on. So we want to make sure that we want the public to be engaged. And so if we have any events, I got to make sure that I put that out there in a timely manner just to make sure that our residents or whoever visitors alike know what's going on in our community. And it's a lot of engaging with the media as well to just make sure that they have the information that they need to put out there so that the community or whoever knows what's going on in Trenton.
So I know there's a number of different events that we want to talk about that are coming up. There's a Utility Assistance Day on July the 30th.
Yes.
And I think that's something I thought we should highlight and mention a little bit. People can get some help with, they have to bring certain documents, but then there's somebody there that can help them to, find assistance, find a way to make sure that all those utilities and stuff, they don't have any problem with that.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a moratorium on water bills or turning off utility services to a home. And unfortunately, a lot of people fell behind their bills because they didn't have to pay for them. And then because of other competing interests, they used that money for utilities for other means.
So people knew that there was this moratorium out there, and eventually they said, well, we'll push that bill to the back.
But it's easy, it's understandable, and the city of Trenton, folks don't have a lot of means. There's a lot of families that are in need. So it's understandable that they've fell behind on their bills. So we want to try to help them and fix them up with the utility provider and see if payment arrangements can be worked out, or
almost like an amnesty type of thing.
Amnesty, or little help and helping them pay for their utility bills.
Gotcha. Again, that's Utility Assistance Day. That's a little bit more of a serious event that's coming up in Trenton. And you guys have a ton of fun stuff too, like the movies, and I guess that's also part of your job is to let everybody know about those events, the rec center and the fun runs.
Yeah, so that's all posted on our social media and on our city website. So everything weekly, I make sure on Mondays I give an update saying this is what we're doing this week so that our residents are aware, and even making those calls to let people know that this is what's going on. So each week our summer events happen from recreation. So each week there's something throughout summer. There's never a day where there's nothing happening in recreation.
There is a ton of stuff happening in the city of Trenton, especially throughout the city. Even summer meals programs for kids who, would get hooked up with a school lunch. Now you can get hooked up throughout the summer as well with meals. And all that is available through the website and social media. I've gone to the website, but you guys have a Facebook?
Yeah, we have a Facebook
X?
and an Instagram. Not X, but we are very on Facebook and Instagram. So our hashtag is City of Trenton. So any of that, you can find us there and just follow us and then keep updated because that's where we post everything normally.
So no X. Is that anything personal against Elon Musk, Mayor Gusciora?
No, I think if we had a staff of tens, we could handle all of that.
You have to have a focus.
I have X, but it falls by the wayside because people want to gravitate towards Facebook or Instagram. Very few people are checking out our spots on X, but maybe in the future. And who knows what new social media platforms will be out there.
So you were talking about the vision for the city. Where do you see the city going to, and how you guys are, providing activities, events, stuff for the residents throughout the city of Trenton?
Well, I definitely think for next year, residents have a lot to look for because we're focusing on Trenton 250 and we have a lot in store for our residents. So stay tuned because that's going to be updated soon on our platform. And we're also going to launch a logo contest for America 250 and Trenton 250 because we want our residents to be engaged. And I feel like doing a local contest will bring back some of the pride in our city that we want our residents to have, because there's so much history in Trenton, and we want our residents to know, like, this is what's here and have pride in your city. So once we do that, and just to stay tuned for Trenton 250, because there's a lot coming.
Yeah, Renee's done a marvelous job pulling together the divergent groups that are interested in celebrating America's semi-quincentennial, which is a tongue twister. But the feds, of course, are doing something. The state is doing something on a statewide basis. The county is doing something, because there were events during the Revolutionary War in Princeton and Lawrenceville and Ewing. And then there were events that happened in Trenton themselves. So Renee has a heavy burden to pull all those groups together so that we're not stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, I mean, I anticipate this is going to bring a ton of people into this area, and great historic sites throughout the city of Trenton, but they're all going to be highlighted for that 250th.
Yeah.
So you guys are just getting ready and kind of gearing up for that, which is very exciting, I think, and a reason to celebrate. 250, that's a pretty big birthday.
We just did a 249th anniversary reading of the Declaration of Independence. After the Declaration was signed on July 4th, it made its way out to the colonies, and it was first publicly unveiled in Trenton on July 8th. And that was the first place that was unveiled. And then the next day they went up to Elizabethtown, and then the next day they went to New Brunswick. But we were the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence.
I mean, that was how the news got spread back then. They didn't have Instagram or Facebook. They had a public reading of a document.
Yeah, we still have town criers, but they're on Facebook. But Renee's done a wonderful job being our public information officer.
Well, we thank her for joining us here today and talking about all the things coming up throughout the summer in Trenton. The pools are open, and there's like a block party thing, right? Take it to the streets. That is each weekend.
Each week. So it's on Wednesdays and Mondays, and we have a bonus this Friday as well. I'm going to pull that information up for you soon. So we just want to make sure that each block, each ward in Trenton has something. So we want our residents engaged, and I feel like this Take It to the Street, it's been ongoing for years, but it's a way to engage our residents and know, like, we're here, we want to have fun with you. So this is for you guys. So
yeah, and our big event, August 5th, Tuesday, is our National Night Out. And we recognize National Night Out in Cadwallader Park on the lower park on West State Street. And we have fun activities for the families. We have music, we have food, and hundreds of people turn out for that.
And a lot of fun events, but again, as you were saying, it's about creating community, about interacting with your neighbors, and creating that network. That's a really important part of it. Also, you were saying that you guys have a cooling center, which is opening tomorrow, and you've had those opportunities throughout the summer when the weather gets hot, people need to cool down. That's a serious thing. It can be life-threatening in some circumstances. And you were telling me before we got started that you guys have a cooling center opening tomorrow, going to be another hot day.
yeah, so I think it's going to reach up to the 95 degrees. So it's going to be the Jenny Stubblefield and then the Sam Naples Senior Center, our community center. So the Jenny Stubblefield is going to be open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then our Sam Naples is going to be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we want to make sure that our residents have the chance to cool down because it's going to be so hot outside.
Get a little blast of AC
Yes.
and a little relief.
Just to relax a bit in the heat advisory.
Well, talking about all the great things coming up next year, we have Trenton Central football back on WBCB and going to have 3 games for you in September on the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th. And you talked about the new building. I think when you guys were there, it was before the stadium was there. So that it's been like an evolution, but now Trenton High School, a great venue, not only for education, but for all the events and the football field, the turf, and the whole thing. It's, really is a great spot for a game. And, all that, I think that was kind of through the mayor's office where the fields got completed.
Yeah, we did the turf field for the high school. Normally, it would have been the school's responsibility, but we understand that their funding went into educational programming. A turf field was an added benefit, but we felt that such a beautiful building, a new school, should have a new football field.
Yeah, I mean, the facilities inside the school are top-notch, and now the football field reflects all of that outside as well. So we're going to have some of those games for you on WBCB. Looking forward to that. And at Trenton Central High School, you were more on the stage than on the court or the field. Did you do any athletics?
No, surprisingly not. My parents wanted to get me in, but I was like, no, I'm more of a theater person. So.
And I saw her performances, and she was brilliant. They did a piece on the Vietnam War.
Faces of Freedom.
And it was really moving. And she was talking about the voices of civilians during the Vietnam War.
Yeah, survivors who had the experience, who lived through that. So
it still burns a memory in my mind, but it was a wonderful performance that she put on.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that leaves a lasting impression on the people who perform that as well, like maybe even more so, like dealing with that emotion and...
Yeah. I think, too, having an ensemble that also relates, because Trenton is so diverse, and because all of us shared that history of some type of like immigration or immigrant impact, so we related to that, and having these stories and being able to tell those stories to people that are in similar situations or know about situations as such, it was meant to be impactful. And I think when our theater director wanted to put something on, they wanted it to just be a diverse impact for our community and our residents and the students that are going to Trenton Central High School.
Yeah, I mean, really diverse stuff. When you think about the theater experiences, from what you guys were describing to the dual language production of Aladdin that they did this year, which was really cool and innovative, very different, incorporating English and Spanish into the script and the songs and all the stuff, and just a little bit of what happens at Trenton Central High School, which we highlight on Trenton Today. We're going to step aside right now. You know, we've been talking about the 250th birthday of America, Independence Day, July the 4th. Well, you guys are helping to celebrate another Independence Day, Liberian Independence, which was just a couple days ago.
It will be Friday.
Hillary is going to come on to tell us more about that. And then to celebrate, you guys are donating some fire equipment.
A fire truck.
I mean, that is a very generous donation that's going from the city of Trenton to Liberia to celebrate Independence Day. And we're going to have Hillary come on, talk more about that as we continue with Trenton Today on WBCB.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, and Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Opinions matter, and so does yours. Hi, I'm Joe Fabrizi, inviting you to join us every Monday at 1 p.m. for Opinions Matter, right here on 1490 AM WBCB. Opinions Matter is now live streamed at WBCB1490.com. We want to hear from you because your opinion does matter.
Are you a parrot head?
Wasted away again in Margarita.
Not that kind.
Oi dana, mother to papuga.
That's more like it. If you're this kind of parrot head, don't forget to check out the Denny-O Polka Show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon right here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Mayor Jeff Martin of Hamilton Township, inviting you to tune in to our monthly radio show, This Month in Hamilton. Video stream live the fourth Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. at WBCB1490.com. We will be featuring various guests from Hamilton Township to keep you up to date on what's going on in Hamilton.
Welcome back to Trenton Today on WBCB, brought to you by Capital Health and Haldeman Ford, hanging out with Mayor Reed Gusciora in the conference room. And I used to have a radio colleague who would say, when somebody would say, oh, we're going to celebrate July 4th, they would say, no, you're celebrating Independence Day. Yes. Everyone has a July 4th, you're celebrating. Well, I think July 4th should be celebrated because many nations have Independence Days, so we're celebrating our Independence Day, which happens to be on July 4th. We're now going to be talking about Liberian Independence Day, which comes on July 26th, and yes. Hillary is joining us to talk about that. So what do you think? Should you call it Independence Day or July 4th? Any lean one way or the other on that?
I think it could be both, and
Very
whatever you're
diplomatic.
comfortable with.
I think it should be called Independence Day, because that day is set aside particular for a particular country.
For this
and
nation.
it's a historical day. So it should be called the name that's given to it, Independence Day.
Well, we
Thank
celebrate
you,
that on.
Hillary. I agree with you.
We celebrate that on July the 4th, and we light off the firecrackers and do all the celebrating with barbecues and stuff. Liberian Independence Day on July 26th.
Yes,
So tell us about the history behind Liberian Independence Day and how that came to pass.
So Liberia is the African oldest republic. And the Declaration of Independence was signed on July 26, 1847, declaring Liberia a free independent state. The declaration was declared by free slaves that left from here and went to Liberia and settled in Liberia. They met the additional people which we consider in Liberia as the native people of that land. And they all combined and decided to come together that we're going to work together and improve this country, move this country forward. And on this day, it was recognized by the world that Liberia is a free country, 1847.
What are the colors of the flag?
The color of the flag is red, white, and blue. Most of Liberia history came from the United States by the free slave. If you look at the name Monrovia, which is our capital, it's named after the late president of America, James Monroe. That's the capital. The flag of Liberia is similar as the flag of America, red, white, and blue. We have 11 stripes and a lone star, one star, that's why they call the lone star of Liberia.
Now, was there any military struggle, or was it more of a political movement that created that liberation?
Well, actually, it was not a political struggle until 1990, when we had a 14-year civil war. But through Liberia never had a war until 1990. And the political struggle, it was all about political and power greed. Who's want to be in charge? Yes, and that war lasted for 14 years up until now. Liberia is doing good. We have had 2 presidential elections. Yes, presently we have a president by the name of President Joseph Boakai, who is doing awesome, trying to unite the people, talk about reconciliation, bringing the country back together. And Liberia is good. We are calling on now investor. You know, Liberia has a lot of gold, iron ore, rubbers, timber. So Liberia is open for business. If you want to do business, I will encourage anybody to go there and see, talk to the president, talk to the people there.
And Liberia now is on the UN Security Council. It's one of the countries
Yes,
that was selected for the security. So that's a
Yes.
high esteemed role for, out of all the nations of the world, only certain are selected for the Security Council.
Yes.
And the president just went, of Liberia just visited the White House.
The White House, yes.
And President Trump complimented
don't get that story. Yes,
complimented
yes.
his English, and
But
he said, that's our national language.
Yeah, but you know something about this. A lot of people, when I first came to America, 2003, and I started to speak English, and people asked me the same question. So it was not strange to me that, oh, you speak good English. Where did you learn? I said, Liberia. Do you know of Liberia? You know the history of Liberia? That's our tradition. That's our normal language we speak. English is the first language in Liberia. You know, so it was not strange when I saw it on TV, but again, you know, things happen. A lot of people don't know. You know.
It was expected.
Yeah.
But there's a sizable Liberian population in Mercer County and especially Trenton.
Yes, most especially.
And and Hillary is our chief of security, and he was instrumental in controlling Club City Hall.
Yes.
This last weekend, no incidents, no violence, and so we credit Hillary and his staff for helping make that happen.
Thank you.
So you come to America in 2003.
Yes, sir.
And how do you then get to be here at City Hall as a security?
So let me just give you a brief history of my coming to America. I came to America 2003 through this program called the Diversity Immigrant Status, which we call DV in Liberia. I was fortunate to apply, and I was accepted. And I came over. When I first came 2004, I was in Decatur, Georgia. I stopped there with my aunt. But, you know, coming from African country to establish in Georgia is not like Jersey. So things were kind of difficult for me. My first job I had was working in a factory with UPS. I had to be at work certain time, and my aunt only had one car, so it was conflicting her schedule. So I have a few friends in New Jersey that told me, say, listen, we all play soccer back home. And they said, come down to Jersey, we'll help you. I said, okay. And I moved to Trenton in 2005. When I came to Trenton, I started my first job, Robert Wood Johnson Hospital, as a security officer. Came to St. Francis Hospital another 5 years. And then 2014, I started with the city of Trenton. And when I came to the city of Trenton, I started my way from scratch. I was a laborer with the water department, and I worked my way up to the good mayor, and I was promoted as the chief of security for Trenton City Hall, which I serve in the full capacity now. And I enjoy working with the city of Trenton and our great mayor. Like he talked about Club City Hall, it was a whole lot going on. But with the strength of the mayor and the support of my guys who were able to bring things, it's not 100% under control, but we are still trying our best.
So you felt there was a more comfortable vibe here in Jersey
than Decatur, Georgia.
And as the mayor was saying, kind of a community that you could already be a part of.
Navigate, because we have a lot of Liberians in Trenton. Yes.
And that's Liberian population. Is that how the donation of the fire truck got started?
Yes.
How's that Trenton Liberia connection?
Well, I have
come
to give
to pass,
I have to give two people in Trenton City Hall, Hillary and then Hector Buea, who's downstairs in Public Works. And they just are advocates, and you learn history of Liberia and the Liberian people, and they invite you to, when they have events, very spicy food though. Got to tell them to tame that down. But we have a sizable Liberian population. Also, Mercer Arc, at least 1/3 of their workforce is Liberian, and they offered. They're actually have a relationship with a university in Monrovia, where they're having nurses come back and forth to work with developmentally disabled individuals. We had a fire truck that we wanted that decommissioned. We cannot use it by law. but it will be a great help in Liberia. And then Mercer Arc said, we'll pay for the shipping. So it's a joint venture between the city of Trenton donating the fire truck, and then Mercer Arc is shipping the fire truck to Monrovia.
How much does it cost to ship a fire truck to Monrovia? I can't imagine what that price tag would be, but it's got to be pretty hefty. And then the value,
a few stamps.
A fire truck is a new fire truck is like $1 million or something. I don't know what the price tags are now on those, but even ones that have been decommissioned still have a ton of technology
and value. But it's the right thing to do. We want to help out Liberia. They have a great need in fire services. So this is going to help them out. Too many fires go on in Monrovia, and they don't have the response time, the ability to respond to those fires.
Well, that's pretty impressive by Mercer Arc to hook up that shipping and everything, and notable that the donation is being made to Liberia.
Yes.
And not only the Trenton-Liberia connection, but the United States-Liberia connection is one, as you said, it was freed slaves who went back, created this community, and flying the Silver Star, red, white, and blue. And I think part of what the genesis of Liberia was a democracy.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And that those roots are strong in both countries. There's a connection in those
between America and Liberia.
The genesis of both countries.
Yes.
I want to go back to soccer, though. You have the Old Timers Association.
Yes, so we have the Old Timer Association. It's a soccer club.
They're all young people.
Yes, in Trenton, and it's run by Hector Weah, who is the assistant director of public work, mine director. And he's the head of that soccer club. So what we do, we don't just celebrate only on Independence Day, but once the summer come in, as I don't know if I would consider us to be young people again, but we get together to exercise ourselves, go on the field, get our permission, and, go through the normal process to use the field, get the field and go there, play soccer game, meet Liberians that you have not seen before, Liberian. Before, way back years, Liberians used to come from all over the 50 states to Trenton, New Jersey to celebrate it. We had a big festival, game, parade. But,
which will happen on Saturday.
Yes.
If you want to tell us about the festival.
So the festival, last week Saturday, unfortunately for me, I had to travel with my family, so I missed the parade. I was not here. But they had a Liberian Independence Day parade on last week Saturday. So this Saturday coming up, which is the main day on the 26th, July 26th, we will be having our festivity on the what we call Fadaraco Soccer Field in Trenton. Yes, and thousands of Liberians will be coming out to celebrate that day.
And you could try all the food from Liberia. A little spicy.
Yes. Spicy.
But they'll have some alternatives, but still really rich and tangy food. Skewers and meats and all kinds of
give us like an example of what we might find.
So I'll name a few of the dishes for you. We have the roasted meat. It's spicy. It's like pieces of meat they put on steak, put on the grill, roast it, season it. We have the roasted fish. We have some African Liberian dish called cassava leaf. A lot of Americans familiar with cassava leaf. Cassava leaf, palm butter, fufu and soup. Yes, all of them will be there. And we make this kind of bread called the kala. It's an Liberian African name called kala. And we'll have varieties of food there that you can try, yes.
What are the hours of the festival?
So the festival starts at 10 o'clock in the morning because there are different programs. From 10 o'clock, we're looking to shut down by at least 9:30. That's before it gets dark.
Well, hopefully everybody heads out, enjoys a little spicy food,
yes,
a little soccer, a little football.
So while Mayor Reed was talking about our fire truck donation from the city of Trenton, he left us something I'd like to go back to. But I just want to let Liberia know, and Liberian, it's not just the fire truck being given to the city of Monrovia by our great mayor. Also, we had a negotiation with the police director that promised to give us some decommission of vehicles and handheld equipment. All those can be used in Liberia too, and we really appreciate our mayor. Since Mayor Reed came to power as mayor of Trenton, he has been a great help to the Liberian community. I'm telling you, even including myself that work here with him, he has been a great help to me.
So you like some communication stuff for them to utilize
Yes,
as well?
to utilize, yes. To utilize. And you know, those things that are decommissioned in America, let me tell you, we can use it there. It stays good. It serves the purpose over there. So I tell the police director, he said, oh, you know, I said, director, these things I said new, they are good. We need it. We can use it.
And this is another embodiment of the sign on the bridge, Trenton makes, the world takes.
Well, I thank you for being with us, Hillary, and letting us know about the festival
I sure
and
will.
the donation and everything. We're going to step aside one more time. We'll return here to the mayor's office in just a little bit for more of Trenton Today as we let you know what's going on here. Summer in the City in Trenton, New Jersey. We'll be right back.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township.
Hey, this is Jonesy. Kick off your Thursday and Friday evenings in style. Join me for an eclectic freeform mix of the hits and beyond. It's a happening, a musical journey. It's the Glenn Jones radio experience right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, Thursday and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., directly following the legendary Jerry Blavitt. Radio, the way it ought to be.
Welcome back to Trenton Today. I apologize to the people of Liberia for any of the stuff I got mixed up with the history or the capital or what have you, but really cool to highlight this donation of a fire truck and the Independence Day and everything, and to have Hillary joining us. That was awesome. We were talking with Renee earlier, Renee Morgan from your offices, and about the website. And one of the things that I was checking out recently was the city stats info.
Yep.
And some mind-boggling or just a lot of numbers and data now that you can crunch and that residents can look at and see. There's a report from the streets department. There's a report from the health department. Every different department of your office puts out some statistics, some information. I mean, one of the things that people might find interesting is even crime stats based on wards and how those stats match up from month to month, from just a lot of information out there for residents to check out. And then you guys are having forums so that people can say, hey, I saw these statistics in this area. What can we do about it? And I think that's great. But there's a ton of numbers, info now that people can look at through that city stats info.
Yeah, we're really excited, and it's the ultimate in transparency. During our council meetings, our 10 departmental directors avail themselves for questioning from council members. This is an opportunity where our directors again appear for a public forum, and citizens can come and talk about their needs and problems that they encounter, and directly can have a conversation with our directors. So it's really mutual beneficial between the residents and the city itself. We're always looking to see how we can do better, and this is a direct interaction with our constituencies.
And not just the interactive part, but the statistical elements and the information that people can now access, I think is eye-opening and potentially good to get things done. As you said, transparency right there through the information provided by the different department heads.
Yeah, we've recognized that we don't always get it right, and we want to hear from the residents themselves how we can do better. And especially we have folks coming in about everything from a pothole to a tree that has picked up their sidewalk, or some other barrier that they need to have corrected.
All right, you brought it up earlier in the show, Club City Hall. Activity going on outside of the City Hall area, and some events that had spilled over. Had you respond with some executive orders and some curfews that were put in place in order to curb activity after hours in this vicinity. As you were mentioning to Hillary that they put in a lot of work, but ended up not having any incidents this weekend. I saw some of the curfews were going to be in place until August 17th, depending on the activity. Would those potentially be extended?
It could be. This is, everything is right now, we're trial and see how it works. But what was not working, we have a entertainment zone that was put in before I came here that allowed businesses to stay open 24 hours. There were no limits. And there were a couple of businesses that took advantage of that, but didn't want any responsibility for controlling crowds or making sure that things were orderly. There tended to be alcohol on the streets, and then fighting broke out. There were a couple of shootings, and this is not representative of the city of Trenton. And one of the businesses were encouraging folks after they closed to come over to City Hall and hang out as a place, and more mischief was happening. So we decided to, for now, during the summer months, close the businesses at 10 o'clock on this stretch of East State Street. And it was quite successful this last weekend. We hope it holds up this weekend. But there were no shootings, no incidents, no street fighting, and no property damage. People were dropping liquor bottles on City Hall, and that's why it was dubbed Club City Hall.
There's part of the ordinances and stuff that, people need to have a certain, the 24-hour zone. It makes sense to me on one hand, where you want entertainment and you want people to be thriving businesses throughout the night. Great. But then there's another part of me that says that doesn't make much sense based on, the principle that nothing good happens after midnight. There's some truth to that. Yeah. And so is there a will either on council or within your office to change that and to have businesses close at a certain hour? That seems to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, the administration put in a proposal to limit hours in the entertainment zone to 12. And again, it's by council fiat, so it could be changed in the future. We're not there yet, but we also need to attract economic development. And so far we have 2 entities that are interested in purchasing the hotel. We have an entity from out of town that bought Maxine's. We have interest of putting a bakery there.
I mean, even circle back to the whole 250th, where you want to bring in tourism and the hotel elements and that type of thing. And this is not in line with that.
Yeah, and as long as that nonsense continues, the unruliness, you're actually going to scare away economic tourism. So we want to rethink this, regroup, and we would love for these businesses to step up to the plate and say, we will provide security, we will help defray public safety costs. And that would be a big help. So those discussions need to be had.
Well, ongoing, and we'll be back next month to talk more about what's happening in Trenton today with Mayor Gusciora. Really appreciate your time and hooking us up with some great guests. Wonderful to have Erica from the shelter. We want to clear the shelter. Remember that initiative? She's got stuff coming up all throughout the month of August on Saturdays with adoptable pets. Thanks to Renee Morgan for joining us as well, and Hillary
Roberts.
From the security department here.
And he's the main supervisor. So he's the top chief of City Hall security.
Like I now want to put together like a soccer team and have like, I don't know, people here in City Hall. I think they have like we have some good soccer in this area.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you like a former soccer guy?
Played in high school, but not formally intramurals.
That works. Well, again, thanks for being with us. Thanks to all of our guests, to Brian O'Neill, our video engineer, Bill Redner for helping to put the show together, our sponsors, Capital Health and Haldeman Ford, and we'll catch you next month here on WBCB for Trenton Today.